This video will show you how to put together our Christmas block boxes from Simply Crafty SVGs. This includes the Tradition set with Santa, Snowman, and Gingerbread Man boxes, as well as a Critter set with the Bird, Polar Bear, and Reindeer boxes. Use the video chapters in the description to jump to the character you want to assemble, but you will have to watch the beginning of the Gingerbread Man portion for the box assembly. The only box I'll show you how to put together is this Gingerbread Man one. I chose it thinking the color contrast would be good, but actually for the video, it's the same box for all 6, but we're going to just show you the box, which is just super simple, and then we'll piece together the Gingerbread Man, and we'll piece together each of them separately. I may not speak through the entire thing, but at least you can see how it goes together. I just wanted a simple gift box for Christmas that you could use. This goes back to what I originally this is one of the things I love about crafting. Sometimes we don't have a lot of time, and we just want to get some gift boxes made for either friends, family, or coworkers, that kind of thing. So here's the box. So it's the same for all of them. And if you do go and look into the file, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold it on the 4 lines. If you look in the file, you'll see there's a complete file, and that's the one I recommend for most people. But if people have some issues like scan and cut, there's a one that has individual files, and of course you could always contact me. But each one is bundled. The box is bundled with each of them in the colors to match the colors. So once you fold this well, I'm going to fold it over. I'll be using this is my American Crafts cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this tab. So it's a real simple box. The other thing about this box, my glue's having issues here. The other thing about this box is it can fold flat for storing. So if for some reason you had it for just a little decoration, you could fold it flat and use it again. So that should just fold over to line up properly. And then to close it, I'll show you how to close it, but I'll unclose it. But to close the box, you usually start with, this is the front, with this little, like, I call them kind of like little fingers or something like that. And then these side flaps, then you just kind of flip that in. And usually it kind of pulls back, but if not, you just pushing it in. There you go, like that. So, and then it makes it pretty sturdy. I mean, if you wanted it sturdier, you could glue a little rectangle to the bottom. But sometimes I like these closures on smaller boxes because you can get quite a good little card in there, a good gift card and goodies in there if you want. And then just to take it apart, I'm gonna push it in, flatten it. So for now, we're going to keep it flat. This is how the lid's going to go with that little thing right there. And once we put it together, you'll see how it all comes together. So it just glues on. We're just going to do each character and glue them on the front of the square box. And that's why I'm calling it a block box, because it was based on a inspired wooden box I saw that at a craft show. So it kind of went with it a little bit different direction. So let's get started on the Gingerbread Man. So this one, we have all these little pieces. So we have this, I have this little piecing tool from, if you have little cuts like this, you can just pop them out. I really like this tool. If you have like the Dollar Tree, it's one of my go-to tools. I have a lot of them, but this small one, I like that I can just easily grab it. But I have a lot of piercings. I don't have piercings. Piercers. That's the chuckle for the day. So we have the eyes. So we'll go ahead and piece these together right now. Oops, we have 2 color eyes because I didn't know which one I was going to use, but I'm going to actually use those. Sometimes I cut out 2 different versions and then I go, oh, I like the lighter version. So that's this is actually called Wave from American Crafts or a similar color. I think Encore from 12 by 12 cardstock has a similar color. Have it checked. I haven't really used, I have a whole bunch of American Crafts, so I can continue to use them. So one thing before I piece them, I'm just going to do a little inking to them. And the reason I'm going to show you on this one is I'm inking all of them a little bit differently, but just to show you the processes I go through. So this one is a little bit long. If you already know how to ink, then you can bypass this. I'm going to use this extra piece of paper as my back to use to ink on. So I have this Distress ink, black soot, and you could use really any ink. You just have to, it's really about technique, I think. I've used lots of inks. And I use these little finger brushes from iCrafter, which I like. So this one, I think I'm going to ink this in black. These in black. And I'm doing it really slightly. I'm only doing it to see the edges. And you probably not even be able to see it much. But it'll pop on the edge. I'm not going to ink the eyes. I'm going to do a little bit around this. And I don't like a lot of, when it comes to black, I don't like a lot showing unless you, it's just enough to give it kind of like a little framing edge. And you could use a smaller tool than this. I just happen to be better at using this now and not getting the whole thing. And we'll get the nose. So these are just small touches that you probably can't even see that much on video. I'm getting a lot of this off. So I kind of go over here and get rid of the excess and then go around. And it looks fine without it. If you don't want to do this, it's fine. On this one, I'm going to use a kind of a brown. Go ahead. The walnut stain. The reason I like these little brushes too is it's all these different colors and they stack. So they have versions. This is like a bigger version I got off of Amazon. And this is iCrafter. And I'm not sure how much longer they're going to be making them because her business model changed a little bit. And I'm not sure if they'll continue to make it. They closed their website. So here's the same thing. Again, if you are familiar with inking and you don't want to go through this, just go ahead and forward through this process. I think a lot of people may want to see this. And I'm only going to do this on this one. All the rest of them are pre-inked. And it just kind of gives it a little dimension. I'm not the best at doing it. But I do my best. I try. I do. And I like it. The more I do it, the more that I like it. And it's better. It's actually what it does is, again, it highlights the edges and gives it dimension. So even if you use like foam tape and stuff like that, it gives it a little bit more dimension when things are sitting on top of each other. But if you just want bright colors, you know, you could always ink it too with a different, like a green with a green, a dark green, or the red with a darker red, that kind of thing. That's another way. And I've done that on a couple of my other ones. Oops, I still need to do this. So you can see I just use excess paper. So for this one, go ahead and move those. I'm going to kind of slowly go in. I don't want to get too much, but I like it a little darker at the edges. It just gives it a different look. And I highly recommend if you're going to do this, this is not your first project, you might want to do it on a piece of paper. I do test on different colors, so I'll do it on the other side. I have practiced and to get the technique I want. So you can see I kind of go out in, kind of get the excess and go out. And my pressure changes as I go around. And because this is so thin and I don't want to break it, I'm just going to do it a little bit of an edge on it. Normally I don't have thin edges like that, but this particular design has that. So let me finish that and then we'll go on to the next step. So now that I've done inking, you can see I just inked around the edges a little bit, and you can see a little shadow around there. I'm going to go ahead and add it to this. So this is one of the simpler of all of them as far as piecing it together. It's just little, these are the smallest pieces in any of them. So to put this together, we're just gonna go ahead and add glue carefully. This is where a fine tip applicator comes on, and this is the Barely Art glue that comes with the applicator. This is the size I like in my hand. It's the 2 fluid ounces, and I just refill them until the bottles get, this is a newer bottle I just opened. It doesn't come with this piece, just so you know, but you can purchase it. It's just a little rubber thing that goes on top. But we're just going to go and add glue carefully, especially when you're doing this little top piece right there. So light. So I'm just going to line it up at the bottom and the top, and I didn't put glue too close to the openings except the very top. I'm going to line it, give it a little lightly so I can line it up. Sticking already. One of the reasons I like this glue is that it doesn't adhere as quick as some others. I like our glitter glue too, but I used to use, I like Scotch Quick Dry for those that use that. It's just, for me as a crafter, it just dries way too quickly. I'm not fast enough. Even with me doing it all these years, I'm still super slow. And that's okay. That's just the way I am when it comes to crafting. So there's the base of it. And this has more of a curve on the top, so we're just going to glue that on. And the smallest pieces are the eyes, so I'm just lining that up. So we have a little prep. I'm going to do something to these too. So the eyes, just go ahead and line them up. So I make sure the texture side is up. Eyes are going to go like this towards the right. I guess you could flip them around to the left, but I have strange shaped eyes. Be really careful about the glue placement. I'm actually going to get these little tweezers. Started to use my tweezers a little bit more because I've gotten used to placing things now. So you want to line up the little holes. And then you'll want the black edge to line up on the edge here, so you might have to just rotate it a little bit. And it has a little thing sticking off the edge there because sometimes black doesn't cut the best. That's just a known issue with all black cardstock. You see how that is? Goes like that. Getting that little piece off. This is, like I said, this is the smallest of all of them. But of course, you pick and choose which ones you're going to do. This is one of the ones I like the most. I mean, I think I had fun making this one. It's different. I like traditional, but gets a point for me. You know how many Santas. My mom's really into Santa. She loves Santa designs. I'm more in the cutesy designs, which shows in this set, or the sets that we have here of these block sets, Christmas block sets. So I'm just gonna pop those in. Like that. There's no cheater lines or anything like that. Just put them where you think they look good, and you could do that before you glue it. You could figure out what you like best, but if they're different shaped eyes. A little bit of black. That black sometimes just goes everywhere. Then for these, I have some like little twine. It's like really thin twine. It's almost like more like, I don't know, more like thread, but it's like got little wispies on it. I'm gonna cut it. Can I get the biggest scissors? This happens to be my adhesive scissors too, so I'm doing it big so I can tie it. So from the front, I'm just going to tie this in the back because I just want to have a little texture, like it looks like it was stitched on. You could just pop it up, but I just thought it would look cute with this. I have so much twine and all these other embellishments that I'd do that. So I'm just going to tie it in a knot, and we'll do that on the other one, and then we'll put the tie on and all that. So here's the simple things. We put little foam tape on the back of these. We're going to go ahead and I already took the backing off. Go ahead and put have little fuzzies from the twine. I'm going to go ahead and just center it here between you see between those. You could always put sideways too. Kind of fun. I'm going to put it straight across. And then the nose. The nose would be cute popped up too. Just had a lot of pop-up things going on here. And then the little mouth. A little fuzzy there. I just had a lot of humidity in when I was cutting, so I have to be really careful with. I do have a dehumidifier. And I'm just going to go sideways like that. Then I'm just going to alternate. So you could put them however you want. Just make sure I'm just looking at it so it's straight. I didn't put any cheater lines for this because I figured people would want to put them the way that they want to put them, however far. And you could wait to put these on before you put it on the box. If it's going to be hard to, I didn't think about that. With 3D dimensions, it might be hard to get the pressure, but we have enough to do that. So now all we get to do, that was a hard part. This is the super simple part. So every single box in this series, you just add glue to this, and you're going to line up the bottom piece. So you want to line it up to right here. Going to line it up down here, and it's just each one will go, it'll be a little bit to the left and right, but you'll be able to line it up on the right and left. And then that's why you want to add glue to the actual box, and while it's flat you want to put it on. So we can just apply pressure so the little head just goes above it. And you know, sometimes there's something to be said about simple, and I just focused on the characters rather than the actual box itself, because a lot of times I just try to shape the boxes. But this one, you have options. So I didn't do that here. Let's do this. Let's close the box up. Sometimes I just have to lift in to push it down. There it goes. And then the way it just shuts is just a normal box closure. And I have this little piece jutting out to make it easy to open. So there it is. That's how the box goes together. Let's go ahead and put the rest of them together. So if you do want to jump around in the video to the different characters, you can go ahead. There's a shortcut in the video description on YouTube. So you just click on it. It'll jump to the character you're looking for, how to piece it together. But we're going to go Santa next. So here are the Santa pieces. And we have these, and I've done a little inking already. Not a whole lot. It's very mild on this one. So a little bit of maybe the gray around the edge here. But we're going to go ahead and piece it together. So just had everything kind of stacked. So this is the back piece. Obviously these are the little pieces. So we'll go ahead and put these together. So we have the little nose, which you can see is inked a little bit. Go ahead and place that. Right there. This will go on top when we piece the rest of the pieces together. I like to flip it around to make sure it's lined up. And those will go on towards the end. Then this just goes on here. So what you'll want to do is find out, since it's not symmetrical or anything, just make sure you know how it goes on first before then add glue. And I add glue to this, just don't go too far into the red. This is the way it goes there. Make sure you get it lined up. And you can always flip it over to double check. So that's that piece. And then we have the box is already put together a little bit here. So what we could do is put the little eyebrows on, and the little thin piece goes on towards the outside, and you'll see the little cheater marks. If you can see that, so make sure on the video you can see it. You can see those little cut marks right there. Those will help you place them. So we're just lining this up. Get one side and then I'll get the other. And just lined up. Like that when that happens. When it adheres, it's just way too quick. Get it lined up. Now this will go right over that, so the eyes and mouth show through. So you always want to put glue on the piece that has the holes in it. And I try to stay a little bit away from him, obviously, so just in case I have to adjust it. I mean, it's not so obvious, but I'm going to start lining it up, whichever you feel is easier on the top, bottom, sides. And then I can just move it in place. And you can easily see if you flip it over if you're lined up. And you do the best you can to get lined up as well as possible. It's always never a big deal if the previous paper you can see just a little bit of it. I'm going to put that on there. So the snowman and the Santa and the snowman are probably the simplest ones. Well, I think as far as size wise of everything, I thought the gingerbread man with the smaller pieces, that's the only major challenge on that one. But everything's pretty, it just lines up. You just have to line it up. Just like if people are used to doing the layered patterns out there, which they call, really, it's just layered. They call them 3D SVGs, but really I say they're 3D because they're layered. And we're gonna put this on, but we're gonna pop that up. I just have to get foam tape. But we can put it on here. So this is going to line up right here. So we're going to pop up the little fur for the hat, and this with the foam tape. We want to line that up. Kind of start on one side. And you can see I'm just making sure it lines up on both sides of this red piece. Like that. So I'm going to get some foam tape. So I have this huge roll that I use that I'm trying to get. It's not my most favorite, but I have a bunch of it. So I'm going to use that. Place it on the back of these and this, and then we'll finish it. So now I've got the double sticky foam tape on the back, and some people might wondering why I didn't like that particular brand. It's just because it's hard to work with, and I have to cut it, and it's plastic backing. It's hard to get off, that kind of thing. So we're going to go ahead and place the nose. So because I'm using double foam tape, oops, don't want it to fall. I want to make sure that I get it lined up properly. So I'm going to line it up at the nose. Because once it sticks, it sticks. Making sure it's lined up with the shape on this white part. There it is, and then we can do the hat and make sure I'm going the correct direction. So I'm just making sure these little waves match. And they do. And you don't have to use foam tape. You could just glue it on and get the same dimension. So lining it up like that, and then there are two little cut lines right there, just like we had with the, those are just cut lines. This will help you place this. So because I have it popped up a little bit, it like that. And it kind of gives it a dimension because it's pulling off of it. So there's thickness from the side because I popped it up. Kind of looks dimensional that way too. But yeah, you saw where it could help me line it up. And then just like the gingerbread man, we can go ahead and place it right on the front there. So go ahead and add some glue. And it'll finish it up. So I'm going to line it up at the bottom. This bottom of score line, and then the left and right towards the bottom. That's what you want to use to line this one up. And then just apply pressure. I just poked myself with the piercing tool, so I was making sure that I had a little bit something red coming out of my finger, but it's all good. So that's it. Same. We can put it together and that'll be done. So let's move on to the snow. So now we have the snowman, which is fairly simple. You'll see that I already inked this, and for those wondering, to get kind of that little edge around here, I just use a distressed oxide pumice stone color. That's what I used on that. So we'll go ahead and layer the eyes and the hat. So for the eyes, it's just simple. I have them looking to the left, but you could have them looking to the right if you wanted to. I'm just going to go ahead and glue around there. So these are perfectly round eyes, so just getting it lined up. I wanted it to look to the left. Like I said, you could do to the right. Little piece of didn't trim that before. You saw any other portions, just a reminder. I was having some trouble with humidity in the room. So I want both the eyes to be at the same place on both eyes because I want it looking to the left. So when you want them to be the same, you kind of have to put them in the same place. So if you want to look to the right, the same thing. Have the eyeballs going to the left. That. So I have little cheater marks to place them. Let's go ahead real quick. Let's put this together. And this is one of the reasons I like to ink. I didn't really pop this up, but I could have popped this up. I'll probably after the fact go, I think I should have popped that up. Just line that up. But because we inked it, you can kind of see the edge a lot better. Okay, let me flip it around. Don't normally do that, but I like the inking on the bottom, on the top better. So you can see it doesn't have to be perfect, the inking. But it gives you a little edge on the top. So with the hat, we can go ahead and glue this on. Pretty simple. Line it up at the top and the sides. The thing I like about these boxes is that they are fast to put together, so if you want to do a whole lot of them, it would be easy. I mean, sometimes I think I try to get more complex, and sometimes simpler is better. So I'm going to just add glue here so I can place these. I'm going to use my tweezers to put them down. So I'm lining it up so the edges, so it covers those little cut lines. Those are just letting me know where to place it. I want to make sure that it's a little bit higher, but the little cut is still going the same direction. And it's on the left, like the snowman's looking to the left. Or if you chose, but it really has to look to the left because of the angle. That's kind of why I did that. But you could put it to the right. And I don't have any cut marks to help you with this, so you could put it that way. You could put it that way if you want it. So either way, but I'm going to go here. And I'm going to place this next just to see where I'm going to want it. And I put some double sticky foam tape on it. Then we can go up like this, kind of at an angle like that. Or if you like it a little bit more like that, but I like it up a little bit on the right. I'm making sure that I have the texture side up. I'm gluing on the non-textured side of the American Craft cardstock. Carefully so I don't get glue everywhere. Place it like that. So I'm not going to place this yet. I'll do it after I get it on the box, just because it's got a little pop-up tape. So this one, same thing. Add glue. And I'm being repetitive because every single one, this one's really simple because it's square all the way down, but a couple of the other ones, I mean, you can bypass this, but I always like to do it for people that might be new, because this is a good beginner project. So I'm just going to line it up. This edge is with the tab fold, and then the left and right. And then you just want to apply pressure, and then we can pop the box up. So I didn't get that straight. Shouldn't be able to see any of the box on the left and right. There we go. I could see it right behind there. Didn't make me extremely happy to see that. So I gotta fix it. And you can see I did a little blue inking on the edges, very light. The same thing I did on this, the snowflake. So I'm gonna take this off. And one of the reasons I put all this stuff on, I take the foam tape off before you see it, because I have no nails. Because I have a bad habit of biting them. Chewing them off. Work in progress. And you can either put it up here or I'm going to kind of put it overlapping like that, and then add this little, I had these just arbitrarily sitting in my drawer, and I like that color right there. So I'm going to put that one on. Just some extra stickers I had in my drawer. And just to give it a little bling to it. And then we can go ahead and close this box up and finish it. Next up is the reindeer box. And there it is. So here are the reindeer pieces. So you can see the black in the back, behind the ears, and then this little piece, that, and that. And then I already layered these. So this was a white piece on behind the red, because it's pretty simple. And the same thing, the black piece behind the, I believe we used caramel on this, or tan, whatever you want to call it, but it's American Crafts cardstock caramel. So let's go ahead and layer these. So since we already did those, let's put those aside. And here's the box, obviously. So let's go ahead and we want to put the black on the back. We want to make sure we have it going the correct direction. So the easiest way, in my opinion, is to flip that out over and add glue around the ears. And you could go in between, but if you don't feel comfortable placing it, then you can always just do the middle right here. So, but we want the middle right here. We want this is going to be down like that. So it's up. So it shows through, the texture shows through like that. So I'm just going, so the texture side is going down in this because it's going to be up on the other side. And then we're going to line this up. Try to line it up as best you can, else you might get glue showing through on that black, which I just did a little bit. And then line it up. And then here, so we can change the color to the correct brown. So the dark brown for the antlers. And then this, the actual color is chocolate. Try to minimize how much you have that's around this ear, so when you place it and move it, just like with the black, it doesn't show. So if you need to spread it out either with your fingertip or another tool, or let it just dry slightly before you put it on so it doesn't get on the other side. I'll make sure I don't see any other thing. But I just carefully start on one side, line it up, like that. And I made these smaller so we could just avoid like wasting a lot of paper. I did full size before, and I'm just a lot of paper wasted. Sometimes with layered, you need them to be the same size so they lay right, but this was okay. We're going to go ahead and put that over there. And it's best when you get to layer these that you're putting glue on the piece that you're going to place down, so you don't get glue in places that you don't want. I'll just line it up towards the bottom and then make sure it's centered left and right. It's a little bit of a hump up here just because we have that little piece. And then this one goes over that. And so if we had glue to the white, then you wouldn't know where to place it because of the eye openings. So now we're going to go ahead and add the eyes. So I have them kind of going this a little bit towards the left, the opening in the left, but I have it going in this corner here, like that. You can, if you like it a different place, then you can put the little eyeball somewhere else. And then you kind of want to put it, you can put it towards the center. I kind of like it right there. Or you could have pushed it all the way over here a little bit. We'll get a little closer. It's not, we probably should have centered them, but anyways, I think it's cute. Whatever you like. Then this will go like this. We'll glue here. Then we're going to pop up the nose with some foam tape. Look at it right there below, just this little hump below the eyes a little bit, and center it. Then I'm just going to use a couple pop dots just to make it simple and easier for us to pop up that nose. Just use the little ones. I use these when it's just, well, I was having trouble with some other one I was using today, so decided to use this instead, right, for this one. And these are little, if you're wondering what they are, they're sticky thumb, which I got a long time ago. They're nice for little projects. I put little, they just pop up. They're a little bit thick usually for my liking, but for this particular reindeer, I think it'll work. So I'm going to line up this top part right here. Finish off our cute little reindeer. And then we can just add it onto the box. And if you do like this project, I ask if you give me a little thumbs up, a like on the video, and or subscribe to our channel. And if you hit that little notification bell to the right, you'll be notified when we have new projects, new videos, that kind of thing. I'm lining it up in the bottom here and then left and right. And I can kind of see where it's easier for me to see where it lines up right here. You just have to watch that. And this looks a little weird down there. I had like I said, humidity problems in my paper the last couple days. So that's finished. So we'll go on to the last couple ones. So here are the polar bear pieces. I already layered a couple things. We have this little piece. Make sure you have it. You can layer it right on here. Little end of the I don't know, all of a sudden I could think of it. The end of the little thing on the end of the hat. So anyways, let's go. And then I layered this white piece to the back of the nose. This is meant to pop up. So if you didn't want it to pop up, you could just do this. You wouldn't need these two pieces. That's up to you. And then this is upside down. And then we have the eyes. So we're going to go ahead and layer this piece. So the reason I didn't show some of the layering, because I did have had a failure with my video, but figured that part wouldn't be a big deal for most people. Make sure this is going the correct way. And then get this out of the shadow here. Try not to have shadows, but do the best with I can with my lighting. So we line that up. Usually flip it up over. And then this just goes right here. So there's little cut marks right there. And this will help you line up the left side. And there's one little cut mark on the right too to help you line it up where it needs to go. So we'll just go ahead and put that on there. It should line up at the top too, so you need to get it in the correct place in between the cut marks. Or I call them like little cheater marks. Cheater cut lines. Then this, I have on foam tape. I accidentally took it off before I videoed. So we're just going to go and put this down before it gets stuck anywhere else. But I wanted this to pop up, but you don't need it to. So if you didn't really care, you could just line it up. With foam tape, it's harder kind of to pop up and line up sometimes. So got it in the right place. Then this goes right there. Just add a little bit. I'll just go really lightly here, so it doesn't bleed on the gray. line it up at the bottom there. It's lined up. I'm going to get a couple pop dots to pop the nose up. But I'm going to hold off putting the nose on until I get the body on until I put the rest of it together. But we'll put those there side. And then here we have the eyes. So we just want to make sure you line up the openings of the eyes on the blue there. Same thing on the other side. And then we'll put them on. Sure, I didn't line that up right. Then here, I forgot, that's messed up, but in this case, I like to put them underneath. You could have put the eyes on top, but I put them underneath. So this would go on after the eyes. I just didn't make a mental note of it. So, but it would look good on top. And then these little cut lines are to help us line it up. I'm going to use my set of tweezers, get it down. I've been using the tweezers more. I used to not use them, but for some reason lately I feel I'm getting better grasp of using them. I just never was very good with them, but it just helps me place some of the smaller pieces in lieu of I used to use a pick-me-up tool most of the time, but these are working better for me these days. There's no specific brand. It probably has something on it, but I got them from my sister, and they're pretty generic. So I'm not really going to give you a brand or anything. So the first piece you want is this big piece, and then you're going to layer this on it. So I didn't head upside down. It goes like that. I'm going to glue to this piece. So this will make the pink for the ears. And if you can do this much faster, you can just go ahead and it can be sped up pretty easily. Then the same thing, and you want to put the glue on the piece that's on the top because that's where you know where to put the glue. So we wouldn't know where to put the glue with the openings. It seems obvious, but sometimes it's not so obvious. I've done it before, where I put glue on the bottom piece and I put it where the openings are. So I'm just lining it up. And I did these two just skinny to save paper. So it will, when we put this big piece on, it does kind of a little bit go over it. Not enough to make a difference. So line it up at the bottom, and then at the place where the hat on the left and right. So now I say put the hat on first. That up. So this is, this is all about piecing it together to get that dimensional look. Then you can place it wherever you like. About there is about right. Just a little space in the bottom and center, left and right. And then we'll pop off the backgrounds of these. So I don't have any nails, so I have to go ahead and do that. So now we're just going to go ahead and center that over there. So that's, I popped it up for dimension. There we go, like that. So you could put that on after you put it on the box, but it doesn't matter. It should go down. So just like with all the other boxes, we're just going to line it up. It'll be all done, and you just have to put together the box. Or just close, fold the box, say. So I'm just going to line that up like that. Make sure it's lined up on the sides. And then we can close the simple closure on the bottom after that's done. So we only have one more box to show you. So here's the bird box. This is just, here's the box part, so this, but we have the little pieces, so we're just going to piece it together real quick. It's fairly simple. One thing we'll start with is the eyes. So for this, this will go right there. So it looks like that's an eye, but that's not. That's just the ball of the hat right there. So we'll go ahead and add this eye. Just gives it a little dimension. So it shows the eye on top of the other one here. Make sure you get it lined up. Out there. Wherever you think it kind of looks good, but you could always place it on there dry first before. But just got a little whimsical feel to it. I'm not going to put that quite on yet. I'll put it last, but I'm going to pop that up a little bit with foam tape. So it's above like that. Let's go ahead and we'll put that on last. Those there. Go ahead and layer together the hat. So this is the little ball. Make sure you have it the correct direction before you put it on. Because it's not symmetrical. And I also didn't want you to get confused that it was an eye. So you can tell it's not. The eye is oval. But if you don't have the correct direction, it's just not going to go on and cover that. So I used I'm not even getting it right. It is the correct size. Just a matter of placement. But I used a digital paper for this. So there you're going to see one of my mistakes. So I may not have had it on right. See, I didn't. So there's a blooper. I don't do bloopers. Somebody asked me if I have blooper reels. I don't keep my raw footage for a very long time because of storage space. These video files get rather large, so I like to keep them for a short period of time. Things maybe you didn't want to know. Light's a little bright here. I'm gonna just change it a little bit. Didn't help much. So this is one of my favorites of all the boxes that I did for this series. I just thought it was fun. I got more whimsical with time. This happened to be the last one I did. Now we'll go ahead, now we have those layered. We'll go ahead and start adding it. So you want to add this piece. So here we have it cuts out like this. So what you want to do, and we can do it after you get it put on, but these flip up. So I have them up a little bit. So when we glue it on, you want to be careful. You don't want to glue the little round pieces. You want to go round it. And then kind of in between. Because you don't want to glue those down. It's just as long as you don't put glue where it's cut out and flipped out. In between it. And there's little cut lines here. Show you to help you place it. So just go between those two lines. I'm going to put the hat on. So you just want to line it up at the top there. And to the left here, I'm using the left part of the hat. And then I'm going to put the eyes. So I'm going to have it overlap like that. And I'm going to put the wings too, but I have to get double-sided tape, foam tape, and put it on the back, and it's painful to watch me do that. So we're going to I'm overlapping it about right there. And I don't have any cheat marks, but this is a good place right here. So let me go ahead and I'll just put this on this. So there's little cut lines here. You can see right there, there, and there to help you guide. I have more on the left side, so once you get it up there, just line it up and then glue it down. And you'll see you can line it up there too. So I'm just lining it up on the left. So at the top you can kind of see it follows this edge right here. And then it should line up right there. So you might have to just adjust it a little bit to get it in place. But you see that it juts out right there. So you can get it in the right place. So let me go add I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of these and the nose. And then we will place it. Before adding the wings and the nose, I'm going to place this on the box. So I'm just going to go ahead and line it up right here between these. So we want to line it down here. Try to get it right down there. This is going to be the hardest one to line up of all of them. But it'll line up on the left side there. As long as you get it centered there. And it lines up right here too. So right there and right here. And then before we put the wings on, you could use a little tool, kind of flattened out a little bit. But to pull those up a little bit. To give it dimension. Kind of can look so it looks like little wing feathers in the front. Then we'll go ahead and place these. So this goes on the left, so you just want to line it up. There. Goes over it. And then we'll pop the nose up. So just close it up and we have our last little critter box, which is one of my favorites. Go. And there it is. So here are the 3 critter boxes. See the little bird, the polar bear, and the reindeer. And then we have our more traditional characters with the Santa, the snowman, and the little gingerbread character. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I thank you so much for watching.